Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my webinar on the power of strategic planning. Happy Monday, happy 1st of August. I hope you had a great month last month and good luck, all the best for the start of this month. Today's webinar is being recorded and it is all about, do you have a solid plan to achieve your strategic goals for your business moving forward? So this webinar is, as I said, we've got some participants that are now starting to join. So I hope to take you on a great journey, share my knowledge today, and I hope you get something out of it. Okay, so today's session, what we're going to cover is the importance of having a strategic plan, like a strategy plan. Like, it's really important that you, take what's in your head for those businesses out there that have a lot of the IP of where they want to go and how they want to grow their business in their head, and put it into some form of strategic plan. I think or strategy plan is the secret. How do you build a strategy plan? And then the big one is, how do you act on your strategic plan? I think is really, really important. So this is what I'm going to cover today. It's only a 30-minute webinar, so it's nice, sharp, and as I said, I hope you enjoy it. So a little bit about me. I'm the owner of Key Business Advisors. We've been going now for well over 14 years. I love what I do. I'm a very passionate person about trying to help businesses grow. And our mission is to always take businesses from good to great, as you can see on this slide here. But more importantly, our purpose is to take our customers on a journey to help them improve their business through all aspects of employee engagement and performance. And to me, this is really, really important because a lot of the work that I've been doing in the last, I would say, 8 months this year, when we've come out of that fantastic lockdown we had here, especially in Victoria, is about, a lot of businesses have pivoted their business and now getting them into some sort of rhythm. What does their business model look like now, and how they're going to take it to the next level? Okay, so there are 4 pillars to our business. For those of you who don't know, we're all about business strategy and growth, which is what I'm talking about today. We're all about people and culture, how to get great culture in your business. We're an outsourced HR business, so we offer HR advice and support for anyone who needs it. And we do a lot of training, in particular sales training, because sales is the blood of every business. No sales, no business. That's pretty much how it works. Okay, so let me get right into it, right? So my topic number 1 is the importance of having a strategic plan, right? So, okay, so let me just get into it. So if we have a look why it's important, right? So why have one? Well, for me, number 1, it shows a pathway forward that links strategy to action. So this is where we want to take our business. So again, the work that I've done a lot of this over the last, as I said, since January this year, going into companies and then extracting that information of where they want to take their company, their organization, and then put it into, well, here's our strategy, now we need to turn into action. To really show that big picture to the whole team about what the company needs to do. What it also does, it holds the business and owner stakeholders accountable. And I think that's part of my job, whether you decide to use a professional firm or you do it yourself or whatever, but accountability is everything, right? You need to make sure that, you execute a strategic plan, you put that in place, and then people got to hold you accountable. It keeps everyone on track so you don't strategically drift. So how many times do we hear or see or heard of an organization has a plan, this is the direction that we want to go in, and then what happens is things change, or they're not focused on what their strategy is, and they start to drift, and then they fall short of achieving their goals, their targets, their objectives, which can also financially impact the business. I think it's a motivational tool as well for all employees, and it creates a purpose of working together and drive. So look, I can't stress that enough. And it's useful for, I think, for financing or refinancing options. So, if you're going for finance as a company or an organisation, and many of them are doing it right now, here's our strategic plan for the next 2 to 3 years. This is what we're trying to, we want to achieve, and really use that as part of evidence that you actually have a plan, and it's taking you where you need to go. A really big one, and this is a case study. So we worked with a company, we helped them build a tailored business plan. It was a startup business, and then we converted the business plan into a strategy form, into a strategy document. And I'll never forget, they're employing employees, and they put this plan in front of their potential employee to say, look, this is where we want to take our business over the next 2 to 3 years. And recruitment's very hard at the moment, but what actually happened from that, and the case study is this person chose to be with this company because they had a plan. And when they went to the other two companies that they were considering, she actually asked, can you tell me what the plan of the business? Do you have it documented? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're taking this business in the next 2 to 3 years? And they didn't have it. So, this client of ours rang me up very excited and goes, not only have you done me a great favor in helping me build a strategic plan of where we need to go for the next 2 to 3 years, but I've just used it as a recruitment tool, and I can't believe it. So that's part of their onboarding now, and we've done it as well in our business. Okay, just think about this quote, right? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? And as I said, many business owners, directors have a focus of where they want to. They know where they want to take their business. 9 times out of 10, when I ask them that question, they say, I'm here to make money. But what does that look like for your leaders, your stakeholders in your business, and all of the team, all of your staff? So by putting together some sort of strategy document or strategy plan, what that does do is it shows and proves that we have a model of where we want to go. Very interesting. I've done this year 4 board, strategic planning sessions, where there is a board, right? And this is common practice with them, where they look at their strategy for the next 2 to 3 years. It used to be, let's look at our 5-year plan. But I think with COVID, I go into companies now and say, you can't have a 5-year plan, it's too long. You really got to have a 2-year focus with a 3-year goal. That's the way that I coach it now. That is part of their process of what they do. So again, when we go and look at a small business or a medium-sized business, what is your strategic plan? Where do you want to take your company over the next next 12 months, or if I say 3, 6, 12 months, 2 years, with a 3-year goal? And then how do you motivate that and instill that through your team? There are many benefits by doing some strategic planning. A big one for me is it creates a strategic purpose that's aligned with your mission, vision, and values. And again, when I've gone and done this with organisations, they don't have a mission, vision, or values, or they've got some form of, they've got a mission and they've got a vision, but it's tucked away, it's not shown anywhere, and they don't live by them, right? So it really means nothing to the rest of the team. So I think, one of the things by doing this, it really highlights, well, okay, what is our mission? Ours is taking business good to great. What's our vision? Is to build a team of highly capable consultants that can go out and advise our clients with best practice services. And then it's your values. Some of the values that you are, that you might have. So I think again, where I question that when I go and do strategic planning sessions. What is it you've currently got, and is it lived and breathed throughout the organisation? You work out ways to stay competitive and ahead of your industry, which is really, really interesting. And if anyone's done any work with me, they would understand that I talk a lot about what is customer insight and what is customer foresight. So what do they want today and what do they want tomorrow? And what about competitors? What are some of your competitors' insights? So what are they doing that's really, really well now? What might they do tomorrow that might knock you off your perch or take part of your market share? And we all know what happened with the taxi industry when Uber popped up overnight and went bang. We have a product or a service that is it's groundbreaking, and everyone jumped on board with it. I think it's good also to have a focus on, financial sustainability around your products and services. So when you actually get into the nuts and bolts of doing a strategic plan, you look at some of your products and services and go, well, are they still relevant today? What can we do to actually improve on them? What other things can we add that might complement our services to bring another, income stream in? I mean, COVID, let's face it, it forced businesses to go down a path of a different direction. To pivot their business was the key word. And again, like putting that to some sort of documentation and building our strategy. Like, is this where the pathway we're going to go down? Is this a keeper? I'm going to continue on doing this. And then are there other products and services that maybe you might drop off that it's not profitable for your business? I think to me also it drives better business processes. So you can assist what your company needs from an ICT point of view. So again, like with COVID, we did see a lot of people, working from home and softwares and sort of coming through. Is it all documented? Is there improvements? And again, when I do strategic planning sessions with companies, one of the things we look at is, things like CRM or their marketing tools or their business process tools. one client I'm particularly working with right now is, how do they get all their dispatches up on big TV screens in the factory, in the lunchroom where all the factory workers work, and also in the sales office, right? So everyone can see when deliveries are coming and going. And, all that's part of ICT. I think it works, beautifully. So having that visibility, working more smarter, not harder. And I think, again, when you do brainstorming sessions, it's about trying to hash that out. What can we do to improve? And I think you need to set some goals, right? So around people and capability. So if we're going through some change, or what does our future look like in the next, 1 to 2 years or 3 years? Do we have the skills and capability in our current team to execute that? Do we need to go and upskill some of our team members? Do we need to, maybe hire some new talent that's got that skill set and bring them in? And a big one for me, which, again, when I go into companies, and especially when they've lost some staff and there are a bit of movement happening around right now, that's succession planning. Like, where was the succession planning of getting that up and coming person to come in, that future leader come in to actually take over this particular role? And again, I guess, that could also be a case of, if I've got it all in my head and I'm running around a million miles an hour, then, what happens is, it's too little too late when things go wrong. So strategic planning does make you think, and it helps you work on your business. And I think that's one of the biggest motivational tools that you can possibly get. So it creates better sales results and marketing initiatives to implement for better customer output. So, I did a session with a client this morning about, just some of the things they could do to improve on their sales and marketing, and some initiatives that would come through. Now, yes, I make recommendations, but I try and hash it out with all the key stakeholders. So, in the sales and marketing department, what can you do better? And we've got some brilliant ideas, and it's okay, right, well, we're going to now add that as part of your strategic plan. You're going to own this, and it's going to be something that you're going to implement from now on. Now, I have a chat box, and I've also got some questions and answers. So if you want ask me some questions, feel free, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Okay, so if I look at topic number 2, how to build your strategic plan, right? So, okay, we've just talked about the value of having one, but then how do you build one, all right? Okay, so you think about some topics that you might want to cover. Now, again, these are the topics that I typically cover, and I do tweak it and customize it depending on the client for their business. So for an example, what's your strategic purpose? So why do you do what you do? That Simon Sinek, what's your why? Why do you do what we do, right? And is it linked to your mission, vision, and values? Your organizational strategy. So what are some of the things that we need to do to become a better business, a better company, right? Better organization. You look at things like financial sustainability. How do you get, for an example, recurring income streams coming through your organization? What can we do to entice that, to grow that and make it better? You look at your products and services, I talked about that before, and your people and capability, your marketing initiatives, but also those business processes. So what's working, what's not working, where are some of the roadblocks? If we become more efficient through software or through other means, is that going to make us more productive? And then we look at your, for an example, I like to talk about, ICT, because I think in today's world, you need to have a fully functional, all the tools of trade, from an IT perspective. Fast internet, great software, good communication through phone, mobile technology, iPads, whatever it is, computers, hardware, the whole lot. Are you set up properly? And it's not to say that when you do the strategic plan, you have to go ahead and do all of this straight away. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to say, right, this would be great to have. So for the clients that I do the work with, we structure, if I can say, milestones of when we're going to achieve these things. And that's a really good output. We talk about customer output. How can we improve that? How can we improve our Google reviews? How can we improve things like our customer service? People ring in. How can we make that communication better? All the stuff that, customers are everything. They're the ones that pay our wages in the business. You want to also look at some organisational risk. So what risk if we, and that could be something as simple as an OH&S, WHS risk in the business. It could be a risk of clients not paying. It could be multiple things. But again, it's all about hashing it out and then putting it into some sort of strategic plan. And then your organisational goals, right? So what goals do you want to set? So what are our goals and objectives that we want to set and really lock them in? And for anyone who does strategic planning with me, I actually get them to sign off on the strategic plan. So I want into paper, no difference as getting an employee to sign an employment contract or a position description, because I actually want their blood to say, you are going to do this, right? And then I go and review that with them on a monthly or quarterly basis to make sure that they're sticking to the plan. I hope the above makes sense. So ways to do it, right? So typically we might see directors that might go off on site or off site and try and work out what's our strategy for the next 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, etc. I think you should get some key stakeholders involved as well. So in our business, I have two wonderful people in our business, Alison and Maya, who are my HR team leaders. When we built our strategic plan nearly 2 years ago, when the pandemic happened, how we're going to trade out of this, I got their input. And again, I got their input only recently for the next 12 months, because we go and check it. You go and hit the milestones and check it, and what do we need to do to alter it if there is any alterations. And it might also be some selected staff members you might have in the business. You might bring in someone in marketing when you're doing the marketing section, or finance when you're doing the finance section, like an accountant or a finance manager or something like that. So if you go and do it internally, there's some ideas and suggestions of what to do. Externally is your point of third party, like a business consultant, which is what we do. It's myself, another guy called Ben Chapman. The two of us do strategic plannings for our clients throughout Australia. It could also be you can work with your accountants. Now, typically accountants, they're going down this path, right? So they're doing more strategy work. I always think that it's more around financial than it is of the whole gamut of the business that I've actually explained through today. And I'm not an accountant. So when it comes to the financials, one of the things I do in our strategic plan is get the accountant to verify the strategic plan. And then the last one is you might go to a workshop or a group section. So there are things out there. I know Council runs some sessions around strategic planning, or how do you tailor a business plan. There are workshops on the government website that you might want to go to. And there's some privatised companies that do it as well. But the way we do it at Key Business Advisors is we like to work that one-on-one with the client. And, it's not a short-term thing. It is a 12, 2-year, 3-year burn to make sure that we're ticking all the boxes. What comes from that is massive growth. And I've got plenty of case studies that are on our Google reviews and also on our website that tell us that what we do, it works. If we have a look at our next slide, it's about, well, okay, how to execute and act on your strategic plans. So I think this is the most important part, right? Because we talked about strategic drift before, but if you have a plan, and I've seen it, most people like get a business plan or do some sort of strategy plan and go, right, I need to go and do this to go and take it to my bank to get more money. But they never share it with the team and make the team part of it, if that makes sense. So, so once you've got your strategic plan, I can't stress the importance of actually sharing that with the whole company. And only of recent, there's a post that was put out a few weeks ago. I was at a company in Shepparton where I actually did it with the business owner. I went through their strategic plan with all of their staff. The business owner felt that having a third party would be easy to explain what we want to do rather than them, and less emotion as well. So, but towards the end, on me presenting it, the owner actually come up next to me and said, right, if you've got any questions about this, and really got involved. So, and the take up of the team has been absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what is important is you create like a business improvement session, all right? And in our company, we're very big at every quarter of shutting our business down for a day or half a day to work on our business. We do that as an organisation because I believe in it so much. And only a few Fridays ago, probably 3 Fridays ago, it was around the I think it was around the 9th of July. We grabbed our whole team and we spent a day in an office where we went through our strategic plan for the next 12 months. So this is what we ticked off. This is what we've done really, really well over the last 12, 18 months. This is where we're going for the next 12, 18 months, and really shared that with the team. Now, I don't actually choose the targets for my team. So my HR advisors, they choose their targets. I get people involved in our company and go, well, okay, what do you think we can achieve? And how do you think we can achieve it? I think it's important to explain how this was put together and where you came up with your goals and objectives. And that's what I just talked about just then, right? Just that importance of actually doing that. Make sure you have timelines on your plan and how you're going to celebrate the milestone achievements, right? So when we hit this milestone, this is how we're going to celebrate it, you know? And again, you know, everyone's looking at culture. It's a big thing. We need to have a good culture in our business today to keep our loyal employees. Well, if we haven't got good culture, then we're going to lose them, you know? So the ones you probably want to leave are going to stay, and the ones you don't want to leave. So again, this whole idea of having a strategy session is about giving that boost of energy that we're a great company and we're going in the right direction. And it's been said to us around job security, just how important it is by doing one of these and having that job security. I think you also need to be open and honest at where your company is at the moment, if it's going great, you be open and honest with them. If it's not going great, you know, this is what we've got, this is why we need to make the change. So you give the reasons of why you need to make a shift in the business. And a big one for me is have fun while you're doing it, because if you've got engagement, people are having fun, and that's just absolutely fantastic. So you build the motivation and confidence around the importance of your strategic plan. This is what we do. This is how we do it. You know, one of the things I talk about is the KBA way. This is the way that we do things, right? And it's all documented. I think it's important to seek feedback as you're going through the presentation. So you want to ensure that you acknowledge your team who have supported your company in building your strategic plan. You want to seek input from others on what they think. And just little things like, do you believe it is achievable of doing this? Do you believe it's realistic, right? Can you see how, can they see how they contribute? Because, you know, what we do know is with companies, staff want to do meaningful work. They want to, you know, they want to be on a winning team. They want to be an insider. They want to know how things go by sharing what you want to do through them. It just creates a massive amount of emotion. And I actually think that in our team here, our team are more emotionally connected because of some of the planning that we've actually done. The most important thing is having your whole company committed to delivering on your strategy plan, right? So this is where we're going. And I say to many companies that, you know, when you raise the bar of your organization, you might have one or two people check out, right? Because I don't want to work that hard, or it's too much. What's the word? If I could say it, it's you know, we're putting on more accountability of what we actually want out of them. And that's okay, right? Because if people don't want to be part of our strategic plan, I really don't want them here, because we need to do this for the sake of growing this business. And what is the end result? If we grow our business and become more profitable, we share those profits back through things like, you know, bonuses, incentives, trips, you know, like team building activities, and, you know, obviously remuneration. That's a big one as well. So I think it's important that you put that in place. Make sure you focus on the relevant items and don't make it too big. So again, you know, we're going to do baby steps. And baby steps this is what we'd like to achieve in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, the next 2 years. And put that timeline. So the spreadsheet that I lay out with our clients with their strategy plan, it's about putting timelines in place of when they need to achieve them. I hope the above makes sense, and feel free if you want to ask me any questions. So to me, what's important is the work starts the day you implement your new strategic plan. Make sure you always refer to it on an ongoing basis. So again, it's common language that we use at Key Business Advice. Well, this is part of our plan. And if someone asks the question, well, this is what we're trying to achieve here. And even when we do things with, you know, our meetings, you know, and I've got, you know, Emma, you know, like part of her goal is to, you know, get 1,000 followers on LinkedIn, and we've achieved that, right? So again, it's like, well, okay, now we raise the bar. You know what I mean? So it's all important. It's important that you celebrate those wins to get the results that you actually need to get. Now, I'm just curious, you know, do we have any questions that are out there? Feel free. You're on the hookup. Feel free to ask me any question you want to ask in relation to this. I always get asked the question, like, how long does it take to do a strategic plan? So if you want it done properly, it's probably a couple of days work, right? So typically I will go and do this over a full day and then go backwards and forwards until we've got all the bones of the strategic plan, and there's probably another day's work. So it's probably typically over 2 days work. to try and get the strategic plan done and organised for the organisation. And yeah, I've done that, in clients' premises. I've also done it off-site. So again, it really depends on the client what they're actually looking for. Okay, well, we don't have any questions, so I take that as a good session that we've done now. But if there's things that you want to download, you can download our 12 steps to a business plan. You can also download some things around change management, because again, when you want to create some change management, strategic planning is a way of doing it. And there is a section on there around strategy and advice too on our website if you want to go and have a look at that. Okay, so I really hope you've enjoyed our webinar, and these are free webinars, so we really value doing the webinars. But the next one's on the 5th of September, and that's the value of training and developing staff. And I think that's really important in today's world. We're seeing more and more companies that need to start doing more of this because it's been too long. But it's around understanding the payoff when training and developing staff, and then how do you identify specific training needs for growth? And part of this links to the strategic plan that we just spoke about, and the best ways to train your staff for greater results. So please feel free to register for that. And there's some of the other services that we can help you with, which is around your business strategy and growth, your people culture, your HR advice support, and some sales training. So I hope you've enjoyed the session that we've gone through today. And again, if you love what we've done, what we would love you to do is to give us a Google review. So while I've just got that up, I just want to finish off by saying this is what we did back when the pandemic happened. So a lot of organisations panicked and went into what I call survival mode, which is totally understandable because we did the same. But what we did very, very well is we strategically planned how we were going to trade and what we're going to do, and what did it look like over the next 3, 6, 12 months. Part of our strategy was I was going to do a free webinar every week. We were going to create some downloads for our for people who needed it, and for the whole HR team, because that's what people needed, working from home and all sorts of stuff. We put things in place to say, right, this is what we need to do and need to achieve. Another big tick of what we did is we really marketed ourselves very, very well, and that's part of our strategic plan. And then we had over 800 people join our CRM, over 200 people downloaded information off our website, and that really ignited our business again to get things going. We survived very, very well in that first 12-month period, and we were all right up until July of last year. And then, when things didn't go to plan with the lockdown, what was it, 246 days of lockdown, we struggled. We did struggle like most businesses out there, but we stuck to our core, and our core was making sure that we looked after our customers, kept our marketing strong, and we did all the things we needed to do as per that strategic plan. And, I sit back and look at it, since we've opened up this year, it's been an absolute, adrenaline ride since pretty much end of January, start of February, right up until now. So it does just goes to prove that when you have plans in place and you stick to your plan, you might alter it, a little bit, but the core is still there. It's amazing how many people can jump on board and help your business to go from good to great. So I hope you enjoyed our webinar today. Thank you very, very much. This has been recorded, and I hope you got something out of it. And if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us at Key Business Advisors. Thanks very much, and that concludes our webinar.